Welcome to my video explaining the Year 7 statistical investigation that I completed for my Educ3625 topic. For the purposes of the investigation, I decided to look at the following question. Who spends more time watching TV per week, Year 7 boys or Year 7 girls? My prediction is that males spend more time watching TV than females per week. It is important to note that throughout the investigation, time will be measured to the nearest hour. The data was sourced from the Australian Bureau of Statistics Census at School 2014 questionnaire. To give a clear and reliable representation of the results, I chose to download two different datasets for students in Year 7. 50 students were surveyed from across Australia, 25 male and 25 female. I thought that if any fewer students were used for the investigation, the results might not have represented the data accurately. This table shows the initial data that was collected from the downloaded datasets. As you can see, the female data is on the left and the male data on the right. I sorted this data from lowest to highest amount of hours to make it easier to read. This was done in Excel. This next table shows a double stem and leaf plot. It clearly shows the distribution of the data across both sexes. In order to create the graphs needed for the investigation, I then needed to make a table that was easily transferable to a graph. If it would have been left as the previous graph, it would have been huge and many of the hours without any data at all. This was corrected by condensing the data to be shown in 5-hour allotments, as shown in this table. This makes the data much easier to read. I was then able to create this double column graph. This graph shows that the majority of both males and females watch television 0 to 4 hours per week. Likewise, this scatter plot shows the same information, although it's slightly harder to see it. I also created these two sector graphs. Although they're hard to read than other graphs, both show the highest percentage of males and females that watch television per week was 0 to 4 hours. I wouldn't use this graphing technique for my investigation if I didn't have to, as the results were not as distinctly visible to readers. I then created this statistical summary table in Excel. Here you can see the differences in the data results. This gave me the answer to my initial question and that my prediction was correct. It is evident that Year 7 boys spend on average 4.24 more hours per week watching TV than Year 7 females. However, it's important to note that the data wasn't clean for this investigation. Some of the results were quite high. There's a possibility that some students didn't answer the survey properly and just clicked on random answers. I left them in just in case they were telling the truth. It's also interesting that both male and female modal results were 0. This is far less time than what I expected Year 7 students to spend watching TV per week. This low result may be due to a majority of students not answering correctly or even skipping the questions. As the data was taken from a small sample, further investigation with a larger sample size may be needed to make the results more substantial. Thank you for watching.
Created using Powtoon.